So we're gathered here from all over the world thanks to this technology. Technology is great. I mean, of course, it can be used in beautiful ways and it can be used in not so beautiful ways, as we all know. But we definitely are taking advantage of the beautiful side of it by connecting through this beautiful planet and meeting here. So why are we meeting here? Well, we're meeting here because we're searching for something. Because if we were not searching, we wouldn't be here. So what are we searching for? Well, on a superficial level, maybe somebody is searching for some connection with people, especially in these days that many people feel quite isolated around the world. Yeah, also possible. But on a deeper level, we're all searching for something that is tugging inside. It's calling us. It's like, hey, can you hear me? There's a little voice inside that goes like, hey, you, listen to me. Yeah. What is that little voice? That little voice is we can call it in many different ways. Every tradition has a name for that. We can call it inner being. We can call it our true self. We can call it our Buddha nature. We can call it, in Zen, they call it your original face. Yeah. We can call it our soul. We can call it our consciousness. Many names, yeah, to point to the same thing. This thing that we're born with and that is always there as an undercurrent and will be there when we die. It's the only thing that never changes, that is not impermanent. Everything else is. Our true nature. This true nature is also our direct connection with the source, where we come from. With, we can call it the divine nature. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, what happens is that as we are born in a society that no longer puts any attention towards this inner dimension. Yeah. We all grew up in cultures now that are very outward oriented. So a lot of attention is put on the outside, but very, very little on the inside. I would say there is a deep, deep ignorance about the inner dimension. Yeah. So through the education, we get somehow trained to move our attention outwards towards the world, what I call the world. And we get involved very soon into a lot of doing on the outside. But we lose touch with what it means to just be. Yeah. So there is a lot of doing and very little being, just being left. So one of the main reasons we are all here now today, yeah, is because we are searching for that. We're searching for how to just be, because we forgot, or something in us forgot. What does it mean to just be? Well, just that is just like, we could say, being present with what is. We could say just be in a state where we are connected to the present moment. We are aware of what is unfolding in the present moment. We're in touch with our senses, our perceptions. That is what being present means. It's quite simple, isn't it? It's not that complicated. It's a simple thing. And it's fun too. It's not a serious business. Yeah. Meditation is not a serious business. It's surely it's something that needs presence. It's something that needs a quality of sincerity, but not seriousness. Yeah, I keep repeating that. It's very important because people associate the inner search as something very serious and like introverted. And it's like, no. It simply means being present. Learn to be present. Now you can learn to be present closing your eyes and sitting, which we're going to practice today too. But you also need to practice that sense of presence in your day-to-day life. Otherwise, it's not enough just sitting. So then we'll talk about that too. How to be present through our actions, what we do. And simply put, it means you keep your attention, your alertness in whatever you do. I always make this very simple example. It's like how to drink a cup of tea. Well, okay, there are two ways. One is I can drink this cup of tea with full presence, let's say. Yeah. I hold it in my hands and I feel the warmth of the cup and I can smell the tea as it rises through the vapor. And I can taste the tea as I drink it and feel the warmth of the liquid going inside and enjoying that flavor and that taste. Yeah. I'm just drinking a cup of tea with full presence. That becomes a meditation. It's a drinking tea meditation. Simple, no? Or I can drink a cup of tea while I'm thinking all the things I have to do today. And when I get to the office, what I do, and then I have to get online and do this and that and that and that. And and I look at the cup and it's empty. And it's like, whoa, I already drank it. I was not even aware that I was drinking it, right? So that's how a lot of people live their life. We are here because we want to learn to drink the cup of tea. That's the first option. Yeah, symbolically speaking, imagine the cup of tea is your life. So do you want to live a life with full presence? First option that we described. or as the second one. Mhm. So what is taking us away from presence? Well, okay, taking this example of the cup of tea in the second option, what is taking us away is the stream of thoughts. The thinking mind, I call it also the egoic mind, is what is taking us away from the present moment. The mind has become such a big part in our life, and particularly in modern man, but it has been like this already for thousands of years, but now it's getting really worse. And to the point that, 100 years ago, a card said, I think, therefore I am. Yeah. Cogito ergo sum. It's like, dude, it's the opposite. But has been taken as like, yeah, I exist because I think. No. Let me correct that. You think, therefore you are not. Because when you're lost in thoughts, you are not present. Yeah. And then I don't know if it was Catholic or Christian or some other dude came out and said what did they say? An idle mind is the workshop of the devil. Whoa, basically they're saying if you're not thinking, bad things are going to happen. It's like, wow, it's just the opposite, That's how far off we went in this culture. So putting the mind aside allow us, when we want to be present, to be present. Yeah. And how do we put the mind aside? Because if you've tried, you can try to switch it off and you might succeed maybe for 10 seconds, right? If you're lucky, 20 seconds. And then another thought starts and sneaks in, and before you know it, you went from here to the other side of the world, because thoughts travels very fast. Yeah. Buddhists say as fast as the light. So that's very fast. And there is no stop button, but there is a pause button. That's what I always say. And the pause button is our awareness. In other words, to become aware that I'm thinking is the first step. To become aware of this voice that keeps talking inside our head. Sometimes it just talks. We don't even listen to it sometimes anymore. We're not even aware that it's talking, but it is. So we start listening to that voice, and then we become aware that we're thinking. What happens there? And if I'm repeating myself, you already know these things. Be patient with me. But not everybody is at that place, so I have to start from scratch. What happens is that what fuels the thought is our identification with it. In other words, it's unconscious thinking, it's automatic thinking, it's compulsive thinking. That's why it keeps going, because it's fed from our identification with it. So the thought and the thinker are completely merged. So the thinker, say me, is giving energy to the thought. Yeah, through my identity. The thinker is giving energy to the thought. That's why the thought keeps going. So I really believe that I am the thought, I believe whatever the thought is saying is true and it's very important, and God, wait, let me finish this thought because I'm going to figure out my life if I finish this thought. Every thought is trying to make you believe that it's super important, yeah? Every thought wants to survive, wants to keep going. The mind wants to keep, it's always active. It needs activity to exist. So what happens when I notice that, oh my God, I was lost in thought. I was going to Indonesia in my head, but I'm still here in Europe. When I realize that, what happens? It happens that the awareness, the consciousness separates from the thought, because suddenly I'm seeing the thought, so I cannot be the thought, right? Suddenly there is an object that is a thought, as a subject that is my awareness, that is me. So there, in that moment, I remove the fuel that is fueling the thought. And the thought kind of loses power and ends. That's the pause button, very simple, okay? So this is part of the practice that we can do. And slowly, slowly, we disidentify from the mind. It doesn't mean the mind will stop and you'll become, some people think, oh, if I start meditating, I'll become a vegetable. Not quite. On the contrary, you're going to become much more alive and much more present. And even your mind itself will be much sharper because you give it a rest once in a while. Yeah. So slowly, slowly through this practice, what happens is that we are less identified with the mind. It means, okay, the mind will still function. We can use it for all the things that it's needed for. It's great for so many things. Yeah. It's a great organizer. It's a great tool to explore. I mean, without mind, the science would not exist without mind. Mind is fantastic for anything that is related to the outer world. Yeah, so when we direct it to the outer world, it's a wonderful and necessary tool to even survive. But when we want to go in towards the inner dimension, it's completely useless. Not only useless, it becomes a problem, a hindrance. It's useless because it's not made for that. Yeah, the thinking mind is created, or the egoic mind is created by society, by man, to function in the world and to basically to have an identity. But it has nothing to do with the inner world. The inner world is the divine. Yeah, the outer world is, let's call it, man-made world. So the mind knows nothing about, it cannot. It's not made for that, about going inward. It cannot. So we have to find ways to put it on pause. And then what do? We explore what's in that space. Wait, okay, this thought is finished. Before the next thought starts, what is in that space? What is there? So I bring my awareness to that space. The space between two thoughts. What is it? What does it feel like? Can I feel it? Does it have a flavor, a taste? What's in there? So in that space, you realize many things are perceived. Yeah, not only thought. Sometimes there are physical sensations. There's going to be perception through sounds. There's going to be emotions arising. And we watch, we observe all this with what Buddha used to call a choiceless awareness. That means an awareness that doesn't choose, oh, I like this thing better than this one. Yeah, but it's a completely non-judgmental attitude. It's an awareness that has no judgment, no preferences. Like a scientist would look into a microscope without any prejudice. And we just observe what is happening, because through that observation, we'll be able to get to know this system, how it works. So we bring mindfulness to this inner space. Okay. To take it one step deeper, we also, and we'll practice through the next sessions, realize that, okay, so there is an observer and there is something that is observed. Yeah. So again, not only with the mind, but with anything arising within that space, there is a subject and an object. Yeah. So to make another simple example, when I get really, let's say there's an emotion that could be anger or jealousy or something that strong, no? You feel it. You can, again, get completely lost and identify with that emotion, like in the thought, so that your presence is completely merged into it. You become the anger, or you become the jealousy. Or through mindfulness, again, you're able to slowly separate, and you see, oh, look at that. Oh yeah, I feel the anger arising. Yeah, I know this feeling very well, And you start from the very start, you start observing it. So you keep a little distance, just enough to realize, oh, there is anger in me. Yeah. That's the difference between there is anger in me and I'm really angry. Yeah. I'm really angry. It's like you are identified with the anger. Yeah. You are enslaved by that emotion in that moment. It's okay. It happens. We all lose it. Yeah. Sometimes we lose it. That's fine. But in the practice, through time, we learn to see, oh, there is anger in me. Oh, beautiful. Yeah. So there is a me, there is an observer that is aware that anger is arising. Wonderful. It's the same like with the thought. We said there is a separation between a subject and an object. So meditation is about exploring subjectivity, yeah, not objectivity. Meditation is about being the subject, not the object. We observe all the object, every phenomenon, every experience. We observe it and we live it with presence. But slowly we realize, well, I'm not that though. Yeah. Okay, this is a good introduction. We'll go deeper into that in the coming sessions. I don't want to talk too much. Eventually, this is a new series, so I have to talk. I also have another series in Italian where I came finally to the point where I don't even talk, we just sit. Yeah. But now, at least for a few sessions, there's going to be some talking. But I like for you to watch the videos that I put on every week I'll give you a video on the WhatsApp group you're in. Please watch it because it saves me a lot of talking. Okay. So every week I'll give you one to listen to and practice because there is a guided meditation. So take it as your meditation time, not only today, but at least another day during the week. Okay. I will introduce you, some of you already know this, to some what I call anchors. That is something that you can use when you sit and the mind is so active that it keeps taking you away and away and away. And you go like, oh my God, it never stops. Okay, so I give you some anchors that are, they're not technique in the sense they're not, they're something that is already happening within our consciousness. Yeah, we just bring our attention there. And so today, the first anchor that we talk about is the simple force that is happening all the time, which is gravity. The energy of the earth and the energy of the sky. These two energy I want you to become aware of today, particularly about many other things that you'll become aware of. We'll practice with these two. So what does it mean? Gravity is just like, yeah, if I drop this pen, it falls. Okay. Every form, every object on this planet is attracted towards the planet. It's a strong magnetic force. It's an energy, a very strong energy that we're not even aware of, much like we're not aware of our mind. We're not even aware of gravity. So the first step when we sit and we close our eyes is to allow ourselves to feel the gravitational pull. How do I do that? Well, first of all, by relaxing. It's another word for relaxing, grounding. Grounding oneself means that every part in my body that is tense, say I'm tense in my shoulders and neck, I exaggerate now, but I'm like that, right? And as I start relaxing, this happens. Yeah, just like everything. So when the holding is gone, the relaxation happens. Gravity does its work. Every part of my body falls downwards toward the earth. So to become aware, to let go into the gravitational pull is another way to say I'm deeply relaxing the body, this form. We have to start from the body when we want to enter into deep meditation. Yeah, it's very important. You cannot skip this step. We have to take care of the roots. A tree cannot grow tall if the roots are very shallow. So the first thing to work on is this, grounding, okay? The other force that is happening all the time is sky energy, yeah? So we are a bridge, our body is a bridge, and our being too, actually, between these two polarities. Mm-hmm. Earth is the negative polarity, sky is the positive polarity. And in between these two, there is this being, like a rod that connects the two polarities. Yeah, it's almost an electric phenomenon. That's how our body is. The energy of the sky is not so easy to perceive because it's so subtle. Yeah, it's thinner than air. Sky, that's what it is. Earth is dense, it's very perceivable, so it's easy to feel it. And sky is very light and very thin and very subtle. So in the beginning, we might just imagine it and envision it. You know, often I say, just envision a thread that is attached to this spot here, you know, where there's a spiral, your hair is attached, and I don't know what it's called, they call it the baby spot sometimes. And a little bit in the back of the skull. Imagine there's a thread there attached that comes from the sky and is holding you up, okay? Just imagining that you're sitting, your back will become more straight, your neck will realign, yeah? Your chin will go slightly down and you are aligned. The first effect of that is that you can sit by using the bone structure that is well aligned and you use very little effort and you hardly use any muscles. Yeah. Through meditation, through sitting, you will come to a point where suddenly you feel, sometimes you feel this energy more, it becomes obvious, you don't need to imagine it. Sometimes it might even come from below, from the earth, and go up. And suddenly you feel like, oh, suddenly I feel like I can just be straight sitting without any effort. You know, that's because that energy, the two energies are connecting. Okay. So these are the two anchors that we'll become aware today in our sitting meditation, among other things. Yeah. And I will guide you through. There will be a partially guided meditation at the most half an hour. And then there will be a little bell that will ring 3 times. That means the guided meditation is over. If for any reason you need to leave at that point, you can just sneak out. But I will stay and we can open the space for a sharing. So if you have any questions or anybody wants to share something, we're not too many today, so it's great. We can actually take that time and you can share, you can ask question, whatever you feel like, yeah, after the meditation. Okay, I think this is a very good introduction. I don't want to fill your head with too many concepts and ideas and knowledge. Is there any question about what I just said that is not something that is not clear before we start the meditation? You can just raise your hand like this and I give you the mic. If, and you're not Angelo, that's for sure. Hold on. Unmute, yeah.
Sorry, I don't really understand what is the energy of the sky.
What is it?
Yeah.
Oh, how do you feel it?
Both.
So you probably you don't feel it right now. And as I was saying, it's not easy to feel it. So you just imagine this thread that is attached here and it's holding you up. It's like there is, as the energy pulls you downwards towards itself, the sky also pulls upwards towards itself. One is called grounding, one is called levitation. We're not aware of the top and we're very little aware of the bottom too. So we start from the bottom. Don't worry about the top. The bottom is the most important thing. But you can visualize that too, yeah, for now, until it will become obvious what it is to you. It's nothing to worry about.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. What's your name?
Adele.
Adele, okay.
Yeah.
Where are you?
I'm from Lecco, in the north of Italy.
Oh, in Italy. Okay. Good, good, good. So, very good. Thank you for the question. Anything else, guys? No, it's all clear. Very well. So, find a comfortable position to sit. And if you can, with your straight back. But again, straight doesn't mean stiff. Yeah. If you can sit without leaning back, it's good. But if you need to lean, it's also fine. You can also use a little pillow in the lower back, maybe to help your back to stay more straight, even if you're leaning to a chair. But the main thing is that you're comfortable, so you don't have to deal with your attention is not pulling to feeling uncomfortable. Oh, I'm aching here, and your mind is, your attention is taken by that. So be comfortable and relaxed. And whenever you're ready, you can close your eyes. So we bring gently the attention inward. And we start feeling the body from inside. What does it feel like? Notice if there is any little tension that can be released. And just let go all those little tensions you can still find in your body. Yeah, so as you feel the body is relaxing, slowly relaxing a little more every time. You bring awareness to the tension, you let them go. And sense how you kind of start feeling the weight of the body more on the cushion or on the chair or on the floor as you relax. You become more aware of the weight of the body. Keep relaxing and falling downwards towards the earth. Yeah, that's a sensation as every part of the body is being pulled and you let go into the earth. Continue to let go. You might have a sensation that you're sinking more into the cushion or into the floor. As if the earth becomes spongy and you can penetrate it a little with your body. Sending roots into the ground. Allow any tension to just drop into the earth. You can let them go. Let go every thought, every tension, everything. Let it all go. Give it to the earth. She can take a lot. And let yourself fall into it like a baby into the mother's lap. A mother that is always there to sustain you, to support you, that you can trust and rely upon. You always know where it is, and you always can go to her. As if you're becoming part of the earth with your body. The more you relax, the more you become part of it. You are part of it. Your body is part of the earth as much as a tree is part of the earth, or a mountain. You must start feeling like a tree with deep roots into the ground. Or you might feel like a mountain, well grounded, very heavy, completely grounded into the earth. top of the mountain is the tip of your head. On the tip of your head, you can feel a slightly gentle, subtle pull upward. Or you can imagine a thread attaching to the back of your head and just tug you a little bit up. That helps you realign your neck and your back. And it sustains you from above. Just feel that, or if you cannot feel it, imagine it. Don't worry about it, just imagine it. Keep feeling both these energies at the same time as they are happening at the same time. One pulling downwards, one moving upwards. Feeling like a mountain, well grounded in the earth, and feeling the head as the sunlit, snow-covered top of a mountain up in the clouds. Or a tree with deep roots and high branches reaching for the sky. In this moment, you are totally present, sitting in perfect balance between earth and sky. Maintaining attention on these two energies into your body, how your body feels. You remain present. And you observe through your presence, you're able to observe anything that arises in this inner space. The inner space that is between earth and sky, between these two energies. You become aware of the space in between. In the middle of this space, as if floating, you might notice the movement of your breath. Just observe the breath as it happens by itself, without need to do anything. Beautiful rhythm, natural, happening by itself. You might become aware of the space, the sense of space around the breath, the sense of space in which the breath is happening. And in that space, you observe, you're aware of anything that arises in that space, anything that is perceived. That includes sensing, perceiving the body, perceiving the breath, and sometimes observing as a thought starts, or it has already started and you didn't notice, and you catch it in the middle of a thought. You notice, oh, I was carried away by a thought. Good. You noticed that. No problem. Just notice it, and that will take you back to the present moment. Let the thought go. You come back to sensing earth, sky, breath, body, the inner space in which the breath is happening. Again, the present moment. Rest in that presence as much as you can. Let go into that space. Stay alert and keep relaxing into it. Keep watching, keep sensing, feeling. There is no right and wrong, no good or bad. It's all simply an experience, neither good nor bad, just what it is. We accept everything. We observe everything for what is without letting the mind interfere with judgments. Choiceless awareness. Create a neutral space, relaxed and present. allowing yourself to just be here with yourself, knowing there is nowhere to go and there is nothing to do and nothing to achieve. Just being with your own presence in this inner space for a little longer. And bringing our attention to the weight of the body again. Sensing the body. Coming from the center to the periphery. Slowly, slowly getting ready to come back. And when you're ready, you start opening your eyes. Nice, very nice space. That was a very good first meditation together. Good start. So I'd like to open the space if anybody would like to share something or you have any questions or about all that has been said or anything else. If you raise your hand, I will see you and give you the mic. You might have to give your mic to yourself too. Let's see. Rafael, yeah. Let me see. You might have, yeah. Yeah, you're there.
Good things. One.
You're a little soft. Your voice is a little soft.
Yes, it's better.
Yeah, much better.
Okay. Two things. One, in the inner space, I was the feeling. I was feeling love. To be loved. Not just to love, to be loved.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But not from someone, from everything.
Beautiful.
And that's what I'm sharing. And then I have a question. Which is the difference between consciousness and awareness?
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's a beautiful thing, yeah? When you said, not love from somebody, but I am love. That's a beautiful space. Because that's our true nature. Yeah. I often say there are two ways to connect with your true nature. One is meditation. one is love. You know, if you go deep into any of these two, you will find the other one. They converge. They are two aspects of the same coin. So that's a beautiful thing to feel. I am love is because it's a quality that your real self has. It's very much the main quality that the source where we come from has. We come out of love and we are love. And we go back to love. Beautiful. The difference between consciousness and awareness, is that what you said? Consciousness and awareness. You know, you can see it as there is no difference. But in common language, we often we say, I'm aware of. Yeah. We don't say, I'm conscious of as much. Awareness tends to have more of a directed, vectorial direction. Sometimes mindfulness, it's closer to awareness in the sense that we can say, okay, be mindful of, no? Being aware of. But you can also say, I'm conscious of. You know, it's the same meaning, but it can be used with slight different flavors. So we can say, I'm aware of this space that is consciousness. This inner space in which everything is perceived, it's consciousness. So consciousness is more like a round, everything is within your consciousness. So it has more like this round, like consciousness is the container in which every experience is experienced, everything is observed. Consciousness is the subject, and everything else is the object, or everything that is experienced. But it's experienced through also awareness, or through mindfulness. So you could also say, well, awareness or mindfulness are like tentacles, like that comes out of consciousness, like the arms and the hands or the eyes, if you want. You know, they're just qualities of consciousness. Or if it's easier for you, can visualize it like it's the eyes through which consciousness sees and perceives everything. But let's not, don't get lost too much into it. It doesn't make much difference. But thanks for sharing that. Anything else? Something else that wants to be shared or? Oh, Claire, I see your little blue hands. I was looking for a real hand, but there is also an option. You can raise this little hand.
Hello.
Hello, Claire.
Hi, I just wanted to say thank you so much. You've set me up for the day, and your explanation of the cup of tea was perfect. I feel like I'm going to take moments this weekend and just you just explained it so simple, just to feel the present and enjoy the small things. I'm going to take that away and tell that to my family. So thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm sure that's something you can relate to, being, it sounds from your accent, you're British, are you?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, a jolly good cup of tea, that's what we're talking about. How to have that experience, you know, as you're having it every day. You know, to an Italian, I would say, well, how do you eat your spaghetti today? You know, it's like you can eat it with full presence or not, you know, that makes the whole difference. So it's not what we do, but how we do it. Then that brings quality to our life. Doesn't matter what you do. There's not like, oh, great things or like, oh, horrible things. No. The same presence you bring to, you know, make the most, what could it be, like a sculpture or a painting, or create something, art, you know, that we put so much up there. Well, yeah, it is beautiful. It's a beautiful expression of consciousness, of creativity. But is the quality you put in that? Because if you have no presence in what you do, your expression will not reach those heights, you know. True art comes out of meditation. Anything that has any value comes out of this inner space. Even the greatest invention in science, if you read the biography of, you know, Edison, when Edison discovered or created the light bulb and discovered electricity, he said it came out of a space of no mind. He would just sit and he would sit in a chair and hold a pen like this, yeah? And then he would kind of doze off a little bit, and then suddenly the pen would fall, and then he would come back, and then he picks up the pen again and starts sitting again. So what he was doing is that he was trying, without knowing anything about meditation, he was trying to tap into the same wavelength the brain gets into with meditation, which is between awake and sleep. Yeah, he somehow understood that the best ideas were coming out of that. So that was his way to conceive meditation. He didn't know anything about meditation. But through that, you know, he said, in that space between awake and sleep, where my thinking mind suddenly doesn't function anymore as usual, I had the greatest idea, you know, everything, you know, the light bulb, literally the light bulb lit, like in the comic books. The light bulb lit for the first time in Edison's mind. Yeah, in that space of no mind, let's call it. Yeah? In Zen, they call it no mind. That space of just consciousness, presence, just pure awareness. Yeah, thank you, Claire, for your sharing. See what you made me say all these things. You never know.
Thank you.
I don't know what comes out of my mouth. But definitely your whatever you share often stimulates something that comes out. Lovely. What else wants to be shared? Don't worry, even silly things, you know. It doesn't have to be something deep. Penny, let me unmute you. I see your name is Penny Bell, but can I
Penny
call
Bell.
you? Can I also call you Penny or not? How do they call?
No, my mother's called Penny, so I like to be called Penny Bell.
Oh, definitely.
I'm sorry.
No, definitely.
I haven't really meditated properly since I met you in Mandali a long time ago, 2 years ago.
Yes.
And I had the most wonderful experience this morning, however briefly it was, but it was very special. Thank you so much. I felt very with myself.
Yes.
It takes it's a big struggle for a lot of people, I think, to find this being with yourself, which is what it feels like to me.
Yes.
And it felt very, very calm and pleasant. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Wonderful. Thank you for the sharing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. It is like that. It's like, as you said, being with myself. You are with yourself, with a capital S. You know, suddenly we decide, okay, I put the world out and I move in, you know, and just spend this time with myself. That's what it is all about, sitting. Take a little time for yourself. And it's true what you said, it is a struggle often, not always. In the beginning, it might be a little more of a struggle because you're not used to, but the more you dive into your practice, the easier it becomes. That's the good news. And even after 40 years, I have 40 years of practice, yeah? Even after 40 years, it's not like, oh, you're an advanced meditators and you're a beginners. No, we are all facing the same struggle, you know. Only there is a little less identification with everything. And there is less judgment with what you experience. And even when it's some days that you close your eyes and you are like, peace, you know, wow, immediately. Some days you just, it's a madhouse, you know. The mind keeps going and all kinds of things are happening and it's like you feel restless. It always changes. But you're a little less identified. So when there is a struggle, you're more likely that you don't start judging it and put yourself down because you couldn't be peaceful. That's what changes. And that creates more space. Yeah. Because in the moment you struggle and you judge that you're struggling, is of course the mind coming back from the back door. And you create, every thought creates a tension. Every thought creates a desire for something else than what is. So for example, if you judge a struggling feeling that you're having, a restlessness, if you judge it, you create more restlessness, obviously. It cannot be otherwise. You create another thought. You create another tension. So thoughts are tension, and no mind means total relaxation. It's okay. So feeling like you're struggling sometimes is okay, as much as feeling your total love and your peace. Don't worry. You know, they're all experiences, and we just let them be for what they are. Take that time to be with them. Because that will allow you to move into the subconscious as well. And we'll talk more next time about that. Not only the conscious, we'll start working with the conscious, but then the subconscious will start coming up. And remind me next time to tell you about that. Okay. Thank you for the sharing, Penny Bell. Yes. Satori meditations. How wonderful to see you guys sitting together there. It's so nice. Where are you?
Thank you. Bangladesh.
Bangladesh. Wonderful.
So we are having this center. We do Osho's meditation, of course.
Satori, yes.
And today was our workshop, and we all were here already meditating. And then during our lunch break comes your message. And then we thought of joining in. Then we all did it together.
How beautiful.
Yeah.
So happy to see you guys.
Yeah, we all were enjoying it. And I personally am in your Facebook and I love your music. I often use your music for meditation.
Nice. That's what it's made for. Some of it.
So thank you so much, Shastro. I will be joining in your next sessions as well.
Great.
And also invite friends if they're willing to join.
Yes.
So thank you from our side. Thank you.
And looking forward to see you again to the next session.
Yes.
Yeah. Beautiful, eh? We are all in different parts of the world. Aura, how is it going? Unmute yourself.
Yeah, it's going good.
Yeah?
Usually I don't feel grounded at all, but today it worked.
It worked?
Usually today, yeah.
Great.
Because I was doing some work and I was like in the head, and then it was like, I have to say I almost slept.
Good. That means you're relaxing. That's good. That's good. Well, thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Again, there's no need to judge. Sometimes we fall asleep. It's okay. And as I say, well, it means you're relaxing, because, you know, when we can't sleep, it's because like either we're thinking too much most of the time, or we haven't relaxed the body. And so if you're falling asleep, it's a good way to realize, oh, I'm relaxing. Now, of course, it's great if you can stay present and awake. That's the purpose of keeping your back straight too. But if you're tired, you know, because you didn't sleep well or you work too much or whatever, it's easy also to fall asleep. Don't judge that. Another thing when we start meditating is that the body is not familiar. If you're not familiar with meditation, the brain is not familiar with that wavelength that you reach, as I was saying, is the same wavelength as when before you fall into sleep, like Edison was practicing. So the body doesn't know that. It recognizes that wavelength and goes like, oh, I'm going to sleep, because that's the only thing that it knows. It encounters that wavelength only before falling asleep. So the body reads like, oh, I'm going to sleep. So when you're not familiar with meditation, it's easy. You know, it takes a little time. So sometimes you will struggle with that, with staying awake. It's okay. It's just your body that thinks, oh, it's time to go to sleep. So it takes him a little while. You just tell him, no, we're meditating. We're just being present. We're not falling asleep. We're being awake and alert. So you just pass that message on, and slowly it will enter into your whole system. Yeah, but it's common in the beginning. Nothing to worry about. Okay, guys. Very good. So, namaste. Thank you to everybody. Hugs and kisses. Send you all the hugs that you're not receiving in these days. Sending them here. Okay. Much love to everybody.